County, South Carolina, their news report, a Colleton County grand jury on Thursday indicted embattled former attorney Alex Murdaugh in connection with the June 2021 murders of his wife, Margaret, and youngest son, Paul. So the indictments are showing that Murdaugh shot his wife with a rifle and his son with a shotgun.
You know, I will say this, there is something that stood out when you just said that is, I think it's really, I don't know why, and I want to know why, but he was indicted by a grand jury in Colleton County, right?
Yep.
Which is odd because the entire investigation of everything Murdaugh has been with the AG's office through the state grand jury. I just find it odd that came from the grand jury in Colleton County and not out of the AG's state grand jury.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I'm sure that we'll find out why eventually.
Yeah.
And all the evidence. I mean, I hope there's more than just blood splatter evidence, although that's convincing. I'm glad they did that test. Spatter, whatever. I hope there's some videos and some real proof to it. I'm excited to see all of it and see how it plays out.
Well, and Alex Attorneys did provide a statement after receiving the indictment, and it says that Alex wants his family, friends, and everyone to know that he did not have anything to do with the murders of Maggie and Paul. He loved them more than anything in the world.
I mean, we now know that there was some kind of cell phone evidence from Paul's cell phone, right? Mm-hmm. That he was boarding a friend of his dog that night and was taking a video, and it showed his dad there, which goes against everything that.
Yeah. And I think I saw that Maggie's family was coming out and saying that there was marital issues and that Alec had actually lured her to that property.
Yeah, asked her to come specifically.
Right.
To have some kind of talk or confrontation.
To visit with his father, right? If something having to do with his mom and
That's
dad.
how he got her there.
Yeah,
I think his
absolutely.
intention was to, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, in the state, there's actually a little bit more from the statement from him. It says it was very clear from day one that law enforcement and the Attorney General prematurely concluded that Alec was the one responsible for the murder of his wife and son. But we know that Alec did not have any motive whatsoever to murder them. We are immediately filing a motion for a speedy trial. We are requesting that the Attorney General turn over all evidence within 30 days as required by the law, and we demand to have a trial within 60 days of receiving that evidence. Why is that important? What does that mean?
Well, if Dick Harpootlian can get a jury trial in 60 days, he is way more powerful than we ever thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's people waiting for their speedy trials for years.
So a friend of ours texted us immediately and said she's been waiting for one for 5.5 years, and she's like, if they get a trial before me, I'm going to scream.
Yeah.
Well, why is he asking for this? What's his reasoning?
You've got a constitutional right to a fair and speedy trial, and so but normally that doesn't happen.
It's posture.
Yeah. So every attorney will file that motion to have a speedy trial and demand it within so many days.
So that's standard.
Standard, and it's your constitutional right. They can't hold you in jail for 4 years.
Also, they're trying to get it as leverage to get a bond, a reasonable bond, reasonable in their eyes. Right.
And they're trying to signal that they're very confident in their case. They don't need a lot of time to prepare. They know he didn't do it. They think that state's case is weak, and they're ready to go.
Interesting. Okay, so there is some strategy behind that.
They're like, right after you give me all the evidence.
Yeah, strategy, yes. Just making sure his rights are not violated, because he does have rights. You know, we don't know if he did it or not. I just think I'm excited that if we do get a quick trial, that means that all of it's going to be public very quick, and maybe we'll get to make, our own, the court of a public opinion. Did he do it or not? We'll have more evidence to
Well,
look
and I'm
at.
sure there's some evidence that has not been released, right? That they're keeping close to the heart. So, it would be interesting to know what that is as well. Mm-hmm. So, Amy.
I just want to know all the things.
But I don't think he should get to go first. I think there should be a lot of trials that are waiting to go before his. I think it'll be another signal of his white privilege and power if he gets to sort of have the Emmett Till murderer's trial within 2 weeks of the arrest. That would be,
some bullshit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting for sure.
Interesting, but
what Amy
but
says.
grossly unfair to everyone else that's been charged with a crime in South Carolina.
Well, the Supreme Court Justice of South Carolina just called in like two and a half months ago, all the solicitors and judges and said, we've got to get these dockets moving. These cases have been sitting for way too long. So if he gets this speedy trial, like I said, we're all going to be in amazement.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of defense lawyers
Yeah.
Whew. Well,
that are
let's-
ready to go tomorrow.
Slamming tables.